When we did our notes last, we looked at finding slope from equations and a little bit from tables. Today we're going to look at slope on graphs. And I need you to stop the video, go back and read through the first page, and then come back and be ready to work with this. Alright, hopefully you've had time to go ahead and do that. And you learned that slope is a vertical change over horizontal change. So in other words, it's change up and down on the graph. We would measure that, and then it would be the change left and right on the graph. So it's vertical change over horizontal change. Positive slope, if you start from the left to the right, when your x values increase, your y values increase. So you see our x values are increasing as we move left to right. And also we're going to be moving up. So that means our y values are going up as well. Negative slopes on a graph, if you look, as our x's increase left to right, the line is going down. So our y values are decreasing. So the basic way to put this is, and over here where it says positive slope, it slants upward from left to right. Vertical and horizontal values are both positive. Well, I don't like positive. I would like you to just scratch that out and put increasing. Increasing. So they're both increasing. Because it is possible to have negative values for both across 2 points, but they're increasing. And negative slopes, they slant downward from left to right, and the horizontal or vertical values, and instead of negative, I want you to think about decreasing. Okay? Decreasing. Because you can have all positive values, but if they're decreasing, if one of them decreases, then it is a negative slope. If one increases and the other decreases, that is a negative slope. Alright, what I want you to do is I want you to use your calculator, and I want you to put in the 2x in your y equals, and then look at your table, hit second graph, and then fill in values for -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And I'll give you just a moment to go ahead and get that done. Okay? So hopefully you are done with that, and you've discovered that these values are -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. When we plot these points on the graph, if I go to -2, -4, -1, -2, 0, 0, 1, 2, 2, 4. If I really wanted, I could just continue my pattern up and down both ways. You see the pattern of dots. Then let me go ahead and put in my line. And make sure your line, when you draw it, goes from one end of the graph to the other end of the graph. Get that a little straighter. Yeah, good night. Alright, so what we're looking at now is horizontal change over vertical change between any 2 points. So let me use blue, and as I move from the left to the right, I can pick any of these points, and I'll look. To go from this point here, and I'm going to color this one blue, to this point here, okay, there we go. To go from there, I start on the left, I'm going to go up 2, so that's my vertical change is 2. And then I'm going to go over 1. Notice how I'm staying right on these lines. Staying right on the lines, and these two meet at a corner. I go over 1 to the right, so that's my horizontal. So 2 over 1 is 2, so my slope is 2. It goes up from left to right, so it's positive. So if I start on the left and I move to the right, it's going up. So on number 2, I want you to go ahead in your calculator, put in the 5 plus 2x, and then fill out the table. And if you need to, you can go ahead and stop the video. I know I go a little fast, but you can always stop the video. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So I would go over here, and let me change to red. Negative 2, 1, 1, 3, 0, 5, and 1, 7. We can't get all of them in, but we put in the ones that we could, and we're going to put in our line with arrows on both ends. Okay. Now, when we go to find between any 2 points, the vertical change over the horizontal change, I can pick this point here, and I will, and this point here. So I notice as I move from left to right, my line's going up, so I will have a positive slope. Now to get to that point and just stay on the grid of the coordinate plane, I need to go up 2. So I'm going up 2. So that's up 2, and then to the right 1. So I'm changing 2 going up and 1 to the right, horizontal. So I'm going to put V for vertical over H horizontal. So 2 over 1 equals 2. So my slope is 2. Number 3, I have to transform my equation first. So if I have 3x plus y equals 0, I need to get just this y by itself. So in order to do that, I need to move the term with the x. It's a positive 3x up here in the original equation, so I'm going to subtract 3x. I'm subtracting not from underneath this one because this doesn't have an x in the term. I'm putting it over here. These cancel out. I'm left with 1 positive y equals, I don't need to bring down the 0 because 0 minus 3x is just negative 3x. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the y equals, and you're going to put in negative 3x in your y equals. Go to your table, and then you're going to put in the values for negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And then we can plot those points. Negative 2 and 6. Negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. 0, 0, 1, negative 3, and 2, negative 6. And then I can put in my line. Just like that. And then to find between any 2 points, I can pick any 2 points. So I'm going to pick this point right here. Let me pick this one so I'm not dealing with that little writing thing there. And this one right here. Notice that if I start on the left and I'm going to the right, the line goes down. See this? Here's the point on the left. Here's the point on the right. It goes down. So I know automatically my slope is going to be negative. So my change from left to right, I'm going to go down. There's 1, 2, 3 units. So that's down 3. And then I'm moving to the right 1. So my slope, negative 3 divided by 1, if you see over here, is negative 3. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go to your calculators for number 4, and you're going to put in 1/2 x, and to put in the 1/2, remember it's 1 divided by 2. A fraction is simply a division problem. 1/2 x plus 2, and then I want you to fill in the values. I'm going to use black ink here for negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And so this would be 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. So it may be easier to just graph these. And as long as we have 3 good points, I think we're going to be doing all right. So graphing these fractional or decimal points is a little more difficult. So if I go to negative 2, 1, 0, 2, and 2, 3. Okay. Now I see my pattern. I could go ahead and fill in more if I wanted to. And I encourage you to get in the habit of doing that. It'll make life a little bit easier sometimes if you just go ahead and fill in values or fill in points, even if you don't have the table values. If you can see the pattern, and much of algebra is working with patterns. And so I'm going to put in my line. Oh, let me fix it. It's not quite going through the points like I need it to. There we go. Much better. And then I'm going to pick 2 points. So let's see. Let me pick this point here and this point here. So when I look at this, I see that if I start on the left, to get to the next point on the right, it's going up. It's going up 1. So if it's going up, I'm going to have a positive slope. And then it goes from that point right there, that corner, it's going to the right 2. 1, 2. So my horizontal change is 2. My vertical change is 1. My horizontal change is 2. And it's going up. I can't reduce this without putting in decimal form. And now you see why we were asking you to leave a lot of your results in fractional form. That is slope. We can find our slope from that. It tells me that if I go up 1, I need to go over 2 on my line. That is slope. Alright, so number 5, I want you to go to your calculator and put in 2 minus x, and then fill in the values. Change back to black ink here for negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, and 2. And what you'll get will be minus x, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Let me go ahead and change the color of my ink. Negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, 3, 0, 2. And I can continue my pattern all the way down. And the more points you put in, the better. Now, if you can't see the pattern, don't put in points. But this one I think is pretty easy to see the pattern. And let's get our line in there. Start there. Go all the way from side to side. And now we're going to find our vertical change over our horizontal change. Our vertical change, and I can pick any 2 points. So I'm going to pick this point. Well, let's pick ones that we put in. So if I pick that point there, and let's say I want to skip this point and I want to go all the way to this point. Okay, I want to show you that you can use any 2 points even if they're not right next to each other. So I see if I start on the point on the left to get to the next point on the right, or 2 points away on the right, I'm going down. So I know my slope is going to be negative. Now, let's look at this. To get from this point to this point right here, the blue ones, I'm going to go down 2. So that's minus 2. If you notice, what is my y value here? My y value there is 4. My y value on this one is 2, so I had to subtract 2. And then I'm going to go to the right 2. I'm going to be adding 2 on my x value. So my vertical change was 2, or negative 2. My horizontal change was positive 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 equals negative 1. So I already had my negative there because my line was going down. I'm just going to put my 1. Number 6, how is the slope you computed in problems 1 through 5 related to the table of values for the line? How is it related to the equation for the line? What I'd like for you to do is answer that, bring your notes page to your teacher, and you'll discuss this in class. Number 7, use the ideas you learned about slope and about vertical and horizontal change to explain why the line for y equals 3x is steeper than the line for y equals x. What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to look at the slope on this and look at it as 3 over 1. And this, if you don't have a number, remember it's 1, but we're going to make a fraction with it, 1 over 1. And that's all I'll give to you. Now I want you to think about it, write your answer down, take it to your teacher.